Welcome, everyone. This is the first webinar that Kurt Duggar and Nicole Sauce have ever done, and we thought we would start out with a topic that is near and dear to everyone's heart going into this holiday season, and that's Bitcoin. Bitcoin in plain English, cryptocurrency in plain English, because there's a lot of blockchain-y, I don't know, cryptic wallet jargon out there, and everybody's telling you should get into Bitcoin right now, and that may or may not be the case. We'll find that out. We'll talk a little bit about that today. But Kurt is a cryptocurrency enabler, and the first time I sold coffee with crypto for crypto, it was to this man right here. So I thought, heck, let's get him on. And so my role today is to ask some questions and to look really confused when too much jargon comes up. He's going to do the best to demystify the cryptic world of cryptocurrency. So Kurt Duggar, welcome aboard to our first webinar together. This webinar series doesn't even have a cute name right now.
We'll worry about that later.
Yeah, so I'm just going to dive right in. First of all, Kurt, why don't you give us a quick background on how you got interested in cryptocurrency and why you like to enable other people to use it?
Okay, yeah, a little bit about how I got started. I guess the first time I ever heard about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency was probably around, I don't know, 2011, 2012. And like a lot of other people that have a lot of regrets, I thought it was crazy and I didn't want to touch it. I kept hearing about it for a couple of years. There was the first big Bitcoin exchange was called Mt. Gox. And at the time, the price of Bitcoin trading on Mt. Gox went through the roof. It went from like $10 to like $1,500. And I started really paying attention to it then. And then it crashed. I was still studying on it. I want to say the first time I picked up Bitcoin was not long after Mt. Gox crashed at about $600. And I don't know, I guess it was 2014. So I've been looking at it for 2 or 3 years since then. And then I really started looking into it hard then, and the possibilities of it and the way it worked and what it could do later on down the road. And the more I've learned about it, the more it's kind of pushed me to spread the word about it.
Well, that's really cool. Okay, so let's start with the first basic question. And friends, if you're listening to this and you're like, I have a question, I think it's in the upper part of your screen. There's a Q&A button, there's a comments button, there's a chat button, but if you go to the Q&A button, I can proctor those questions later. So just click Q&A and then you can add your question if you want to. So first question, what is Bitcoin / cryptocurrency?
Yeah, first thing everybody asks. And while we're going on this, if I get too deep in the weeds, you got to stop me. Sometimes I might get a little too jargony using funny words. Just cut me off if I do. All right, but what's Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? Short version, it's money. Just like dollars, euros, yen, it's just a different form of currency you can use to exchange for goods or services. It's a little bit different. Well, actually, it's a lot different than the money you would normally be used to, dollars, euros, or yen, because it's all digital. You can't touch it. You will never hold a Bitcoin in your hand. It's all numbers and letters and binary code and computer programs all stored on a computer program. But it's also a little bit different in most money you're used to, because it's money that has rules that govern it that are extremely difficult to change, but it doesn't have any rulers. There is no CEO of Bitcoin. There is no Bitcoin company. There is no central bank of Bitcoin. It is completely distributed, decentralized currency. Money with rules, but no rulers.
Okay, so it's money with rules, but no rulers. And I hear people talk about it being decentralized. And then my eyes cross. I'm like, why, what, how, why do I care? Why do I care?
All right. Why you would care? First, let's get a little bit of reference. Okay, let's say the US dollar. It's a what you call centralized currency. Runs off a central bank. Everybody's heard of the Federal Reserve, right? They make the rules for how the US dollar operates. We hear about them changing interest rates and changing the amount of money going into the economy. That's a small group of people that makes the rules. Okay, so that's centralized money. Decentralized money. With the way Bitcoin runs, and other crypto, well, not all other cryptocurrencies, but the way Bitcoin runs is on something called a blockchain ledger. I think we can get into that in just a second, but I want to backtrack a little bit. You asked about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. All right, while we're doing this, I'm going to try to focus mainly on Bitcoin, because if you understand that well, you will probably understand the rest of them well. But something you need to understand starting out, there are about 1,300 cryptocurrencies right now in the world. Yeah, that's a lot. And by the time we're finished talking, it could be 1,400. Bitcoin was the first one. It wasn't the first digital currency ever made, but it was the first one that solved a lot of security problems. Now, Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, but all cryptocurrencies are not Bitcoin. Does that make sense? All right. Where were we?
Well, where we are is basically, I'm wondering, like, what the heck crypto versus Bitcoin versus Litecoin versus
versus Ethereum versus Ripple versus
yeah. It's not this simple.
No, it is not that simple. Well, not originally anyway. Yeah. Those are a bit easier to explain.
And why do I care that there is not a central oversight?
Why do you care there's not a central oversight? Because no one can tell you exactly what the interest rates are going to be on the US dollar next year. No, we can tell you that whatever dollars you're holding right now will be worth less next year, but nobody can tell you how much less. With Bitcoin, there are rules to it that govern exactly how many Bitcoin are released into the world at any time, and those rules can't be changed. We can say that there will be 21 million Bitcoin total, and there will never be 21 million and one. The last Bitcoin is going to come out in 2140. You can't change that. That's what I mean by it has rules that you can't change.
Well, can they change the rules of money, of like the US dollar?
The rules of the US dollar are changed several times a year usually. Every time you hear the Federal Reserve talking about raising their low and interest rates, they're changing the rules of money. They're changing how your money operates, and they're changing what the value of your money is going to be.
Okay, so I first heard about Bitcoin a long time ago, and around the time a pizza was bought for a number of Bitcoin.
About 10,000, yeah.
Yeah, so why are people willing to take Bitcoin instead of coins like the silver coin in exchange for purchases? Why are they able to use it for purchases? Because, I mean, honestly, it sounds like a bunch of computer code to me.
It is a bunch of computer code. And the best reason I can tell you as to why people are moving more towards Bitcoin rather than the silver coin you hold, which silver is great. Everybody knows what silver is. We know it has value. It's going to be value. Exactly. Yeah. Next year, silver is still going to be made out of silver, and it's going to be there, right? But right now, you'd have a hard time putting that silver coin in my hand. If I needed to, in just a few seconds, I could put just about any amount of cryptocurrency I wanted to into your hand. That's the great thing about having a digital currency. And for people who are a little sketchy on the whole digital currency thing, if you've ever swiped a debit card or made a bank transfer or a wire transfer or anything like that, you have used a digital currency. That's all you're doing there. You're moving numbers over the internet from one ledger sheet to another ledger sheet.
So is that basically how Bitcoin works? Is when I send you Bitcoin, it's moving it from one ledger sheet to another ledger sheet, and that's how we all know what's up?
Yep, that's it. The great thing about Bitcoin is that there are millions of copies of this ledger sheet, and everybody can look at the ledger sheet at any time to know that there's no funny business going on the ledger sheet. Okay.
Is that ledger sheet the blockchain? Because the term blockchain, it's kind of like when they started talking about the cloud. Like,
yeah.
Coin phrase the cloud, I want to punch them in the nose. Because I was trying to explain to a boss once about what the cloud was, and I was like, oh my gosh, if they wouldn't have named this after an amorphous, misty mass in the air, my life would be so much. So blockchain feels like that to me.
Blockchain feels like that, but actually the name really fits really well. Here's an easy way to think about it, okay? All right, when we're talking about moving money digitally, really all we're talking about is moving information. Like, you're not sending me a silver coin. You are changing the information in your bank account and moving part of that information to my bank account. Does that make sense? Okay, kind of works like this. All right, there's your block, right? Now with Bitcoin, blocks are created every 10 minutes. That's written into the code of Bitcoin, right? Every 10 minutes, there will be another block that is created on the blockchain. What those blocks consist of are transactions. So it would say, Kurt sent 1 Bitcoin to Nicole.
Woohoo!
Bob sent 1 Bitcoin to Bill. Yeah, that'd be a chunk, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd pay off some debt with that for sure.
Each block holds a certain number of transactions, right?
Yeah.
Now, the way the whole system works, there are people called miners who are running really high-end computers that use cryptography, which is fancy math, and this is stuff you don't have to know to be able to use it, but we'll give you as much more info as we can. All right, so they're using cryptography to verify the transactions on each one of the blocks, right? All that means is they're doing a really complicated mathematical problem. Once that mathematical problem is completed correctly, then that block will be confirmed and will be added to the blockchain. We will start on another block that will have more transactions in it. And then the whole process repeats. And every 10 minutes, we have another block added to our chain. Does that kind of make a little bit more sense? Now this blockchain, this whole link of blocks of information, that is distributed, decentralized, and stored over all of these millions of computers running the Bitcoin client software, distributed over all of the miners, so everybody has a copy of it. So unlike the ledger at the Federal Reserve, nobody's ever going to audit that. You're never going to see it. You can vote for whatever you want. You will never see the ledger that the Federal Reserve holds. It's not happening. The Bitcoin ledger is audited by anyone at any time. Right now, if you want to, you can go on blockchain.info and you can look up any one of these block numbers that you want, all the way back to the first one, and anybody in the world can see it.
Okay.
In addition, while these miners are doing all this cryptography to verify the next block, they're also verifying that all of the information they have all the way up the chain is correct and matches.
Okay, so the reason it's called a blockchain is it is a chain of these blocks.
Yes.
And blocks are a bunch of transactions that are being verified by multiple computers running math that I don't understand.
Yeah, yeah. Simple version of it.
Okay, and so the reason that's good is what?
The reason that's good is that allows the whole system to be decentralized. That allows for a system that is controlled by math instead of the whims of a small group of people.
Okay, so this allows my transactions to be controlled by people with no political motivations because there are no people.
Yes, it allows your transactions to not even be controlled. It's what's called a trustless system.
Okay.
It sounds kind of scary because nobody can trust anybody, but the way it's built, nobody has to trust anybody.
Okay, gotcha. So what's bad about this system?
What's bad about this system? Great question, especially for new people coming in. You'll notice that right now, if you send a blockchain a Bitcoin transaction, you're going to have to wait sometimes hours, sometimes days to get a transaction done. And the fee to get a transaction done, where a year ago you could get it done for a nickel, now it might cost you $15 to send one transaction. The bad thing about the blockchain and the way the Bitcoin blockchain is built right now, each one of these blocks can hold 1 megabyte of information, right?
Yeah.
So every 10 minutes, you can complete 1 megabyte's worth of transaction. That limits the number of transactions you can fit into the block. Every transaction that can't fit into the block goes into what's called the mempool, which is just like a big waiting room, right? All the other transactions are just sitting here waiting for their chance to jump into a block. That means that if you have 100,000 transactions sitting here and each block can only handle 1,000 transactions at a time, you see where we're going with the time thing.
Man.
Miners
So
also,
are the fees going up because you can get to the front of the line if you pay more?
yep, that's it. The miners they get a fee for completing the transaction. That's part of their incentive to complete transactions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can pay more to get a miner to put your transaction at the front of the line. And the whole supply and demand thing feeds into that and drives the price of each transaction up.
Okay. So that's why I had to pay $11 to get my Bitcoin into cash a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Mm. You know, one time it took me 7 days. 7 days for it to go into the chain.
Yeah, and the whole time you're sitting there waiting, you're like, what is it going to go? Is it not going to go? If your fee is low enough and it sits there long enough, it'll get kicked back.
Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like you don't want to depend on Bitcoin for your day-to-day life, because if you need to buy milk today and the transaction takes 7 days and costs $15, you've just bought a $17 gallon of milk. Is that about right?
There are ways around that. We can get into those now or later if you want to. Gotcha. But yeah, in general, no, it's not. Bitcoin is not good for point of sale right now. It's not good for quick transactions at the moment.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know. And I do have a question in right now from somebody who didn't. So if you're going to ask a question, you don't need to redo this, but use the Q&A button because it helps me proctor it. You joined the webinar after I had said that. And it's a question that's a little more advanced, and I don't want to stick on blockchain the whole time, but we will take it at the end. It's a really good question. It sounds like what I need to know about the blockchain is that it's based in math. It's not something that's flexible, and that's what adds some level of security to the currency, and that its function is to record transactions so that things can be transferred to one place from one place to another. Is that about right?
That's it. Really, the whole purpose of the blockchain is to permanently record information.
Okay, so you've just made Bitcoin sound really secure. Is Bitcoin risky?
That depends on what you mean by risky. Can Bitcoin be counterfeited? No. Right now, it is, as far as anybody can prove, it is impossible to counterfeit a Bitcoin. All right?
Yeah.
If you could counterfeit a Bitcoin, you could potentially put $300 billion in your pocket right now. So there's an incentive for anybody that can manage to do that. Is it risky as far as an investment? Yeah. Because right now even though a lot of people are getting into Bitcoin, it's still a relatively small pool of people, which means that the price is going to fluctuate a lot. I mean, just this month, we've seen Bitcoin go from like 6,000 to 10,000 to 20,000, back down to 16, 17,000.
Yep.
So from an investment side, yeah, there's some risk for sure. It's not something. Don't go putting your rent money into buying Bitcoin. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, and I suppose this is where we should do the disclaimer that we're not financial advisors and we're not trying to give financial advice. Yeah, I personally treat any digital currency as if I've already, well, not counting my US dollars in my bank account ledger online, but you know, like cryptocurrency. I'm just trying not to use that word because I hate it so much. It's so cryptic.
I wish there was something better.
I know. I treat it like it's not really there. And
that's probably a good way to look at it. Look at putting money into it that you're not. Yeah. It's not going to kill you if it went away tomorrow.
And when I use it, I'm excited that I'm able to use it because it's not really there.
Yeah.
But it's really, so like, I don't treat it like my saving strategy is to put 50. No. It's not my saving. I am lucky that I put some stuff in Bitcoin. I didn't put that much in. And it has, you know, it's turned out to make this Christmas a little better because of it going up to 16,000.
But that hasn't always been the case.
But that was super lucky, and there was a time when what I had was like worth less than what I put in, and luckily I hadn't put that much in, so I was like, yep, that's my movie money. So, what you're saying is it's stable mathematically speaking, but it's risky in that it can have wild swings back and
Yes,
forth.
we can have wild swings in price.
Right. Okay.
It is stable. It's stable in that no one has ever been able to break the blockchain and change the accounting,
Right.
change the ledger.
Okay. And so my next question for you, and this goes to the very basic beginning. I'm going to ask you about mining later because I know a lot of people are interested in mining all of a sudden. But first, if I want Bitcoin, how do I buy some?
Okay.
I'm a beginner. How do I buy some?
Simplest way to buy it as a beginner, right? If you've heard about Bitcoin, you've probably heard about Coinbase. There are some other Bitcoin exchanges. It's just a currency exchange. Coinbase right now is the most popular. The easiest way to do it, go to Coinbase.
So currency exchange. That's like when I went to Peru and needed money and I saw that guy on the street with the window and he took my US dollars and handed me back I think it was pesos. I can't remember what it was there, but.
The exact same thing. And he charged you a fee for doing that.
He did.
Yeah. Coinbase will do the same thing. They will take your US dollars and they will give you right now either Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Ethereum, and they will charge you a fee for doing that, just like any other currency exchange.
Okay, so the easiest way to get started is go to Coinbase, sign up, and figure it out?
That's right now they have streamlined. They've done the best job of streamlining the entry into it, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I saw somebody today online who did that, tried to withdraw money from their bank. Their bank denied the transaction and threatened to shut their account down. What do you do with the bank that way?
Right now, banks are, I've seen more problems with banks and Coinbase lately than I ever have. They seem to be looking at it as a potential fraudulent account. To make sure you don't have any trouble there, the best thing to do is call your bank and say, hey, I'm about to do this. I want to make sure you guys do not flag the transaction. I believe they call it whitelisting.
Okay.
But if you call your bank and explain to them what you're going to do, that will avoid any of that headache.
Good to know. Okay, so I go to Coinbase, I sign up, I connect it either to a credit card or my bank account, right? And then I transfer into Bitcoin. Then what? Can I start trading right away? Can I start buying coffee with Bitcoin right away?
Well, you'll have to wait because of banking laws. You're going to have to wait about 5 days for your money to get transferred from dollars into Bitcoin.
Okay.
After that transfer hits, then yes, you'll be able to move your Bitcoin wherever you want to after that.
Okay. And when people put money in Coinbase, do you recommend they keep it there, or what are your thoughts on that?
I do not recommend keeping money on Coinbase or any of the other exchanges. The exchanges are pretty safe, right?
Yeah.
But they are not the 100% safest option.
Okay.
They're probably one of the most vulnerable places in the whole Bitcoin world, even though they still are very safe. What I would recommend doing after you get Bitcoin onto Coinbase or any other currency, set up something called a wallet. Jaxx makes a good wallet, Bitcoin.com, Blockchain. There's a lot of different wallets out there. You can find them and kind of play with them to see what you like best. But you will
Okay, so like wallet, like am I going to have a leather wallet if I set up a wallet?
You won't have a leather wallet. It'll be, most people will be doing this on their smartphones, right? It'll be like an app you'll download to your smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be where your cryptocurrency will live, on that little app.
Okay, so I put my money into Coinbase, and then if I want to be extra secure, I put it in a wallet on another system.
Yes.
And what's your favorite wallet right now?
Right now, my favorite's been Jaxx. I've tried out about 4 or 5 of them, and I keep going back to that one just because it's very easy and versatile.
And how do you spell that? Jaxx.
Jaxx.
Okay, Jaxx. So once I set up it, so I set up a Jaxx wallet, and I have one. So I went to their site, I downloaded an app, I put it on my computer, I opened the wallet, and then I could decide what kinds of currencies I wanted in there. And I chose Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, whatever, Dash.
The big ones.
Yeah, and then I transferred Bitcoin into it, and luckily I had a friend sitting there. You know what she said? Yes. You need to back that up, Nicole. Okay, so if I what I
Good
did
friend.
was when I did that, like I'm putting this thing on, and I could have just like moved all my money into it. My computer crashed and I lost it forever. And what happens when that happens?
Once it's gone, it's gone. The way this money works, the way the whole blockchain things work, you have things called public keys and private keys. I think it's probably a good time to get into that.
Yeah.
Okay. Your private key would be like kind of a secret code that would act as the vault door to your big bank account, right?
Yeah.
Your public key would be like a code to open the mail slot in your vault door, okay? So if you have someone's public key, you can open their mail slot, you can slide money into their vault door, but you cannot take anything out.
Oh, that's a good image.
If you have the private keys to any wallet, to any amount of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, then you have the secret code to open the bank vault and take everything out. But the only place that private key will exist will either be on your wallet or somewhere that you have stored it separately.
Okay.
That if you lose your wallet, you lose your private keys, then no one has the code to that bank vault. And everything that's in that bank vault is lost forever and dropped to the bottom of the ocean.
Okay, so I can't just call a locksmith at that point.
Nope, no locksmith, nobody can. If you call up Jax and say, I lost my private keys and I didn't back up my wallet and I don't know what to do, they're going to say, I'm sorry, we can't help you. It's not possible.
Okay. Well, that's important to know because that's true for Coinbase. That's true for wallets like Jax. If you don't back it up, you're screwed. And I do have a friend who has like a $19,000 phone that died. That was not backed up. And he just recently found a backup he made of that phone, and he's hoping he's going to be able to get this restored. When that phone's wallet was worth $200, which is when his phone crashed, he wasn't as worried about it. Now he's like, wait a second, I got a whole Bitcoin on this phone.
Yeah, that's considerable.
Yeah, and every time it goes up, I get a text from him. He's like, okay, now it's at 19. And I'm like,
Yeah.
bet it on that, dude. So, and that's because he didn't back up his wallet. And, of course, he was buying Bitcoin back when, I think when you first get into Bitcoin, it's like a big mysterious world. And every time you try to do something, you can't. And then when you do, you're like, I don't even know what I just did to get this done. Like, what just happened? The first time my phone kicked up its screen and did a QR code that was the public key, I was like, whoa! It just did.
There's some new things to get used to there.
Yeah. So backing up the Jax wallet, if we're going to just break this down, first Coinbase, then into Jax, how do you do that? Okay.
Let's all right, we'll go with just backing up wallets right now. We'll go over Jax first. Remind me, I got a story about the Bitcoin.com wallet. Don't let me forget because it's really important.
Yeah.
Jax wallet, right?
Yeah.
You get into your Jax wallet, you can go into your, I believe it's settings, and then you will see something that says back up my wallet. You hit that, and it is going to walk you through getting a 12-word phrase. All right?
Okay.
You write down those 12 words in order. Make sure they are the exact correct words in the exact correct order.
And spell them right.
Sorry, what's that?
Spell them right.
Yes, spell them right. Triple check them all when you write them down. As long as you have those 12 words, no matter what happens to your wallet, if it gets blasted into a million pieces, you can download another Jax wallet to another phone, plug those 12 words in, and all your money will magically reappear in your Jax wallet.
That's kind of cool.
That also means you can do things like, say if you had like 500 Bitcoin and you wanted to move from one country to another, if you had that much money in dollars, it'd be kind of tricky to move from one bank to the next, and you definitely don't want to carry that stuff around.
Right.
I mean, if you had that much in silver, that would be great, but it would kind of suck throwing it in a gym bag and carting it through the airport. You could throw it on a Jax wallet, write down your 12 words, make sure they're stored correctly. You could have them on a piece of paper or just memorized in your head if you're feeling really, really ambitious. And once you get to wherever you're going to go, open up another Jaxx wallet, throw those 12 words in, and all of your money is there with you.
That's really cool. I learned a little bit about the science behind that, which we're totally not going into here. And I think it's hard conceptually to think, okay, so just 12 words gets me all my money no matter what. What if I use a different wallet? Does it get me my money? And then I learned why, and it's based on that complicated math.
Yep.
And I thought, I don't really need to know why. What I need to know conceptually is when I am issued 12 words as my backup, those 12 words act like me calling a dog by its name and that dog coming to me, except for that dog is all my money.
That's it.
So that's something, in fact, I helped somebody set up a Jaxx wallet, and I don't think they wrote down their passphrase, and I've been meaning to bug them about it.
Yeah, you should definitely do that. Definitely.
Because they don't have much in it now, but whew, like when they spike and you start seeing, you get really excited when you see the money go up. Again, not a reason to pour a bunch of money into that. It's just, you're like, wow, I suddenly have this fictional value that's not valued unless I pull it out. But yeah. And then you'll be really bummed if you don't have your 12 words.
Yeah, you'll be pretty sad. The Bitcoin.com wallet, whatever wallet you pick.
Yeah.
With the Jaxx wallet, you've got 12 words, and it will back up your whole wallet, all of your currency that you're holding in your wallet, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Not all wallets work that way.
Oh.
Found out the hard way.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Got a Bitcoin.com wallet. It can hold Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. I didn't have much in there. I had like $30 of Bitcoin Cash.
Uh-huh.
I said, you know what? We're going to test this. Get rid of your wallet and bring it back with 12 words things, because I know it works, but I was kind of scared, right?
Yeah.
I made sure I wrote down my passwords like 5 different times, made sure we were all spelled right, killed my wallet and brought it back up. With the Bitcoin.com wallet, you have one backup phrase for your Bitcoin wallet and one backup phrase for your Bitcoin Cash wallet.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Found that out too late. Now my $30
that cost you $30, didn't it?
Huh?
That cost you $30. That's going to be like 3 million someday.
Yeah, probably that.
Or it won't. Who knows?
Yeah, that's possible. Educations can be expensive.
Well, and I mean, that's why I started working with Bitcoin, like $20 at a time. I was like, I need to learn about this in case I ever need it. And I don't want to like learn about it and then it's like, well, I don't know how to use it. And I just lost $1,500 trying to buy a car or something.
Yeah, you want to make your mistakes small.
Yeah. Okay. So best practices, I think we know an exchange versus wallet. So what are the best practices in security? Have we covered that well enough, or what would you say that if you're just going to list them?
No, we definitely haven't covered it well enough at all. All right, start off. Security with exchanges and also with wallets. Mostly with exchanges, we're going to talk about something called two-factor authentication. All right. All that means is you are going to have, you got your little smartphone right here, right? When you log into your Coinbase account, either on your phone or on your laptop, you're going to have to put in your information to log into your Coinbase account, your email, username, password, all that stuff, right? It's also going to want you to use two-factor authentication. It's going to want you to put your phone number in there when you set up your Coinbase account. And it will, when you log in, it will send you a text with an authentication code, just a string of numbers, random string of numbers. When you get that text, you put that into your Coinbase account and it will allow you to log in. So you have one factor, which is your password logging into Coinbase. And you have the second factor, which is the random code that they have sent to you through a text usually or through an email, two-factor authentication, right?
Right.
Okay. When you set up two-factor authentication, a story about this one too. Instead of getting your authorization number through text or email, I strongly recommend you get an app on your phone to generate those numbers inside your phone so they are not traveling anywhere. No one has a chance to intercept them. The one I use is Duo. There's also Google Authy or Authy. I won't say Google Authenticator. There's a few of them.
Authenticator, I think, is the thing.
What was that?
I said Authenticator is what I use with Coinbase.
Yeah, Authenticator. There's a few.
I just
But
had
it
to
will
have them
generate the
in
numbers.
so.
But yeah, it'll generate the numbers local on your device. The reason this is very important, it's easy for people to, well, relatively easy for people to get your email and find your phone number and crack your passwords and things like that. But it's hard for them to get the authenticator numbers. But they can either do what's called porting your number, so they are getting your text messages, which means that when Coinbase sends out the authenticator code, they will send it to whoever has stolen your information, and they can get into your account that way, right?
Yeah.
Another way it can happen. Say, for example, your wife just made a purchase on Amazon, use her credit card, right?
Yeah.
And then in a totally unrelated thing, 2 or 3 minutes later, you get a random text with an authentication code in it that you should never have gotten.
Yes.
Kind of a red flag right there, big red flag. And then someone calls you claiming to be Amazon and saying that we see that your credit card was used. We just want to verify that you were the one that used it. Can you please give us the code that we just sent you? Do not ever give them those numbers. I personally know someone here recently that just lost about $10,000 in a scam like that.
Oh, so that person gave them over the phone?
He gave them over the phone. He said he realized it as soon as he did it, but they got to his Coinbase account before he could get to it to shut it down.
Ouch.
Big ouch.
Yeah.
So
okay, so
you have to
the two-factor authentication is important, and using an app instead of text message or emails better than using email or text. Okay. And don't give codes over the phone.
No one from Coinbase or anyone else will ever call you asking for your password or any information. So if
somebody does make something up just to piss them off.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. Okay. And so what else about security? So we've talked about Jaxx, and we've talked about a wallet that's digital. We've talked about exchanges. What about a hardware wallet? What's that?
Hardware wallet. That is probably just about the most secure way you can hold your Bitcoin. You can hold your private key, right?
Yeah.
One of the best ones, the best one on the market that I know of now is called a Trezor. Kind of looks like a thumb drive. And you can load your Bitcoin keys onto your Trezor, and that's the only place that they exist. There's no way for anyone to get your phone or anything else. It's kind of like having a bank vault to put your bank vault in. If someone wanted your Bitcoin at that point, they would have to have a password to get into your Trezor, and then the password to get into your Bitcoin inside your Trezor, and it's a lot of work. And the way the Trezor is built, when you want to use your Bitcoin, you'll plug it into a computer, right?
Yeah.
The way the Trezor is built, even if you plug it into a computer that is completely compromised, I could take it to like a computer that hotels have set up that anybody can go use that are just packed full of viruses and Trojans and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
The way the Trezor is built, your private keys are segregated inside of it. So even if you plug it into a compromised computer, there's still no way for anyone to pull the information off of it. There's a whole lot of complicated reasons.
What happens if I drop that into a big giant vat of boiling water?
If you were to drop it into a big giant vat of boiling water, then you should have your backup phrase for your Trezor stored somewhere else.
So I could still have a backup. Okay, good. I was scared for a minute there.
Yes.
So then I'm going to be annoyed.
Notice the backup phrases are very, very important.
Safe and get me my 12 words. Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
And then be sad that you just dropped your $190 hardware wallet into boiling water.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, why would I want that rather than just having my Jaxx wallet on my phone, though?
It's just a more secure way to hold it. Your phone, it's easier to break a phone than it is a hardware wallet. You can take your hardware wallet, put all your Bitcoin on it. If you wanted to save it for a rainy day, throw it in your safe in your house and forget about it. And you still carry around your phone without having to worry about your phone being compromised.
Okay, so what's a paper wallet?
Paper wallet would be pretty much the same as writing down your 12 words. That would be considered a paper wallet. Now, those 12 words actually represent what we call a private key. Remember the code to the big vault door, right?
Yeah.
You can write down that private key word for word. It's a long alphanumeric string of numbers. And it's always better if you're doing that to copy and paste rather than try to write it out by hand, because if you mess up one of the letters or numbers, then you can't fix it. But all a paper wallet is that private key stored on a piece of paper. And if the only place that that private key exists is on a piece of paper, then only someone who has control of that piece of paper can get into your Bitcoin.
Okay, and that's how, like, if you're going to flee the country because there's a civil war breaking out and you want to have access to your money in another country, that's why you might just take a paper wallet because it's more transportable.
Yep, fold it up, throw it in a book, put it in your carry-on, and hit the road.
Yeah, or write a song with your 12 words in it.
Or that.
Because the way the 12 words work is they don't make any sense, guys. So it's like 12 random words that are really impossible. Like, what order was it? Was it cat and dog, or was it
that'd
duck?
Be kind of a tricky song.
Pickle. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun to write, though. Okay, so how this one happened to me. How do I get my money out of my Jaxx wallet? My Jaxx wallet doesn't talk to my bank account. So how do I get my money out if I want to, I don't know, pull out the original money I put into Bitcoin so that I cover my butt now that it's gone through the roof, just in case it goes through the floor?
So you want to turn your Jaxx wallet back into US dollars, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right, the easiest way to do that, again, will be an exchange. That exchange is cryptocurrency for US dollars. So you can go send it to your Coinbase account.
Okay.
Coinbase has an option to sell your Bitcoin. You would say sell it, and Coinbase, again, for a fee, will turn it from Bitcoin back into US dollars, which you can then put back into your bank account or wherever else you want.
And this is where I share the story of not understanding properly what the words withdraw and deposit mean. Yeah. So 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I decided to withdraw money from my Coinbase account by depositing it into my checking account. So I hit deposit in Coinbase, and guess what happened? Money came out of my checking account into Coinbase, not the other way. And it finally cleared today. I think I talked to you last week. It finally cleared today so I can send it back to my checking account. It took 7 days. So when doing something like this for the first time, because I pulled out a little money here and there, but I was like, all original dollars are coming out of crypto and I'm going to use them because it's gone up enough. I'm just going to take out my original, I'm like turning in my poker chips here. Yeah. So I ended up scrambling all over the place to make sure nothing bounced in my checking account. But you got to be really careful, because once you start something in Coinbase, you don't stop it. Once you've confirmed it, you're not canceling it. So you're screwed. If you don't understand that that I'm thinking deposit to my checking account, Coinbase is thinking deposit to your account here. It's just like it was a really stupid mistake. And I read it 3 times. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Poof. And then 3 days later, I'm like, wait, maybe that wasn't what I wanted to do. I better, oh crap. And luckily it took 7 days to clear because I had time to run around and do something about it. Okay, so how do I buy merchandise with crypto? What if I want Hollow Roast coffee?
The easy way would be find somebody that sells Hollow Roast coffee and say, hey, can I buy some Hollow Roast for crypto? And then they say, yeah, and you send them crypto and they send you coffee. That's the easy way. Remember we talked about the public key and the private key, and the public key is like your little mail slot in your vault door. If you wanted to make a transaction like that, then you would say, if I wanted to buy your coffee, I would say, Nicole, send me your public key, and then you would send it either in a text message or some other way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would go into my Jax wallet and I would copy your public key, paste it into my Jax wallet and say, spend however much money we had agreed on. And then that would start that transaction and it would go to your wallet.
What if I was a dirty, rotten scoundrel and didn't mail you coffee?
Then I'm out of luck. I cannot recall it. One of the really good things and potentially bad things about the way Bitcoin works is you can only send money to a wallet. You cannot pull it back. That means that you have to know who you're doing business with and you have to trust them.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything set up that might help protect people in a situation like that?
There are escrow services and third parties. I haven't used them much, but I know there are things like, I want to say OpenBazaar is a good one. There's one called Save It First that actually acts as an escrow company and allows you to buy things off of Amazon and buy and sell Bitcoin that way.
Well, and I can say this, no stranger has ever bought coffee from me for cryptocurrency. I know who everybody is. I'm like, oh, I got crypto. Oh, that's Fred. Oh, that's Mom. You know, it's like, I always know who it is because then I get the mail coffee here notice from my point of sale, right? So I think, so there is one person that's bought with crypto from me who I don't know personally, but he knows me through other channels. And I was doing that through Swarm City, which is trying to be a marketplace that has reputation built in. So if I had not sent him his coffee, I would have gotten trashed on Swarm City. And so that would be like, you know, bad air.
One thing about the crypto world, it's not huge. So if you're a merchant and you get a bad reputation, everybody's going to know about it real fast.
But there's nothing legally I can do because this is not operating with a central oversight.
That's right.
Even
there
if
is no FDIC insurance, there is no SEC.
Yeah. I guess it's just like if you had handed me cash and I was like, I'll be right back, and I didn't come back.
That'd be it.
Met me on the street that day. Woo. So any advice for people buying things with crypto? Do you advise that they do it?
I do it. As a matter of fact, I did before we started this.
Yeah. And you gave me a list here, people who Newegg.com, Expedia.com, Overstock.com, Vinarmani.com, Free Talk Live, all take crypto right on their websites. I think Amazon's going to take Litecoin soon. That's what I've heard.
I've heard a lot of rumors about Amazon getting into Ethereum and Litecoin. I know they bought a lot of cryptocurrency related domains. So yeah, I'm going to say they're definitely going to get into it.
Yeah. And then you use a Shift card, right? Tell us about that.
All right, Shift card. That's like my favorite thing. Okay, Shift card is made by Visa. Everybody knows what Visa is, right? All it is a debit card. And this debit card is attached to your Coinbase account. You can either attach it to your Bitcoin account, your Litecoin account, or your Ethereum account.
Okay.
I attach mine to my Bitcoin account because of the awesome way it works. When you say I go to a gas station and I want to use Bitcoin to buy my gas, right?
Yeah.
I pull out my Shift card, I throw it in the gas pump, and the Shift card will talk to Coinbase and they will debit Bitcoin from my account and send dollars to the merchant. That also means that we talked about the high transaction fees of Bitcoin. You don't have transaction fees when you're using that. Because the transactions are happening on Coinbase's books. They will take all these small transactions, keep them on their books, and then when they get enough of them, say they've got $1 million worth of transactions, then they will do a transaction on the blockchain and pay the $15 fee. They don't charge you for it. But you can use the Shift card anywhere that takes a debit card.
Okay, that makes sense. So how do I accept crypto if, like, I just have a Jax wallet on my phone and I want to sell my neighbor who also has crypto a pound of bacon? Let's say they're using Litecoin, pound of bacon. I actually watched something like this go down at a farm the other day. Probably the bacon's coming in. But And they
Torn down
I
about
was like, I can give
this.
you money or crypto. And he said crypto. And I was like, okay, now I want to see what happens next.
Oh yeah. All right, if you're using the Jaxx wallet, most of the other wallets work the same way, especially if you're working face to face, then it's real easy. I would open up my Jaxx wallet and I would hit the receive button in there, and a little QR code is going to pop up with a little square with the black and white squares in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You, since we're standing at each other, looking at each other in the face, it's real easy. You would pick up your phone, open up your Jaxx wallet, and hit your send button, and it would pop up a little camera. And you would just point your camera at my phone, the QR code, and it would go beep. Read the QR code, which is the address for my wallet, and then you would just say how much you want to send me. And hit send, and we're both happy.
Bam. That's how I bought myself a $10 gift certificate at Holorust today to test my gift certificate functionality with Litecoin. That way.
That also makes it real easy, like if you're a church taking donations in cryptocurrency or anything like that. You can print out the QR code, tack it up on the wall, and just write a note as to what it is. And anybody that wants to donate anything to you can just walk up to it with their phone and go beep, and it's done.
That's awesome. Maybe that's how I get the tip jar on my website someday. If I ever do that, we'll see.
That's
I don't
how
know
I
if I want to do that. One time you were like, "I want to buy coffee. What's your key?" And I sent you the key, and you wrote back, "Are you sure you want to use Coinbase for that?" And I was like, how did you know it was Coinbase? Or did I say Coinbase? I was like, was there something in the address that told you this was my Coinbase account? I must have just
No, I think I remember what it was. I think instead of sending me one key, you sent me the other key.
Ooh. Oh, that's
I think that was it. And your private key, on most wallets, it's going to be kind of hard to get to.
Yeah.
But private keys are noticeably longer than public keys.
I see.
So if somebody sends you a key that's like huge, then you can know they probably sent you the wrong one, and you should be a nice person and tell them so they can correct the problem.
Good thing you're a nice person, huh? You could have taken all of my $143 out of Coinbase.
I would have been rich.
Well,
but I would have had no coffee, which would have made me sad.
Yeah, that would be sad. Okay, so remember, guys, we're going to go into Q&A. I have one more question for Kurt right now. So if you have questions, just click on the Q&A thing at the top of your screen. I'm not sure. I will try to look at Facebook comments. I don't always see them as well when I'm using the Zoom interface. If I see Facebook questions, that's going to put them in the comments. So this one's a good one. You told me to ask you this question. It's funny because this happened to me like 2 weeks ago. So someone asked me to join insert random name of startup cryptocurrency company here. Is it a scam? And I don't know if that's happening else. Like my dad's talking about Bitcoin, but other people are getting me to go to like marketing meetings for crypto.
Yeah, this is relatively new to a whole lot of people, which means that it's very easy. There's a lot of people moving into the area who don't know anything about it. So there's a lot of room for predators to build scams. A lot of network marketing scams. A lot of people have built, we talked about 1,300 cryptocurrencies, right?
Wow.
Probably 90% of those are junk. It's real easy for somebody to create their own cryptocurrency and say, hey, come here and buy my cryptocurrency. And then they take all the money and then leave you with something that is essentially worthless.
Right.
Yes. If anyone ever comes to you and says, this is the next Bitcoin, you should immediately discount everything they say from that point on.
Cool.
They might be telling the truth, but probably aren't. Yeah. There's a lot of scams like that.
And then you have to decide if you want to risk $5 on it, because usually it's like half a penny per one or not.
Yeah. Usually there'll be a few cents. So.
Okay. So the first question I have is from the Zoom webinar, and I was able to get my Facebook comment questions up, guys, on Facebook. So if you have questions, I'll read you a few of these comments. It's like too much multitasking for Nicole to do both Facebook and Zoom at the same time. Do you mine at all, Kurt? Mine for Bitcoin?
Do I mine?
Mining?
I've looked into it. One time I started to do it, but no, I do not mine Bitcoin right now.
Okay, you were talking about the blockchain, and you did a really good job of explaining like these blocks behind you and how they work. And Patricia asked, does the mining computer need to be a really high-end computer, or will a decent lower one get it done? And I think she came to us through the Survival Podcast forum page. And I suspect that because everybody over there is talking about different ways of mining right now, that I'm interested too. So what do you know much about that? Can you answer that question?
I haven't done it. I have done a fair bit of research into it. If I had a better internet connection at my house, I would be doing it. But yeah, if you're going to be mining Bitcoin right now, you are going to need a specially designed machine to do it.
Okay.
Think
so
about
what
the
about
blockchain.
the browser-based things I'm hearing about?
The browser-based things that are worth anything will be mining other coins that are easier to mine. You are not going to get anything on your laptop that's going to be able to mine Bitcoin and be able to pay for the electricity that the laptop uses.
Okay.
The thing about the blockchain is, as this chain gets longer, the difficulty involved in solving the math gets harder.
Mm-hmm.
That means you need a stronger and stronger computer to get it done. That also makes the whole chain more secure, but it means that you're going to need a very specially built computer. These are things called ASIC miners.
Yeah.
I want to say Antminer makes a good one now, or one of the latest good ones, and its whole purpose in life. It's a little box about the size of a shoe box, has a big fan on each end, and its whole purpose in life is to sit there and do math problems. That's all it does, as hard and fast as it can do, is do math problems. And even one of those specially built computers, if it was working on its own, still would not have the horsepower to really make any Bitcoin from mining. What you will do if you want to start your own mining is you'll take one of those computers and you will link it into a mining pool. So you'll be connected to a lot of other people who are using those little computers, right? And everybody will put their horsepower together and be able to make some money that way.
And I got a comment in from Jake Robinson on Facebook, who does a lot with crypto as well. And he says, you can mine with a normal CPU with MinerGate, but it needs to be some of these alternative coins that aren't as huge as Bitcoin is at this point. So there are currencies you can mine that way. It's just Bitcoin you really can't right now. Right. This one comes from Messy James. Does Jaxx allow turning Bitcoin into a different form such as Ripple or Dash?
Awesome question. Great question. Jaxx has something in it called Shapeshift. Now, Shapeshift is a separate company. They work with Jaxx, right?
Yeah.
And what they do is they will take your Bitcoin or whatever other cryptocurrency you have, and they will exchange it for Litecoin or Ethereum or Ripple or a lot of the other currencies they do business with. They won't do all of the currencies that exist right now, but they will do quite a few of them. Now, again, you're going to pay a fee if you're using Shapeshift. And the last time I checked, if you were trying to shapeshift Bitcoin into something else, the fee was a lot. You're going to be looking at like 60, 80 bucks. That might have changed. It's going to change over time. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping the fee has dropped down to something reasonable. But right now, shapeshifting Bitcoin, I don't recommend it. Now, if you're going to shapeshift, if I wanted to get into a different currency and I wanted to use Shapeshift to do it, what I would do, I would buy Litecoin. I would move my Litecoin into Jaxx, and then I would shapeshift my Litecoin into something else, because the fees on that are a lot lower.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been using Litecoin a lot lately because of that. I originally put Bitcoin into my Jaxx wallet before the August. There was when Bitcoin Cash was created versus Bitcoin, so there was a fork in the currency. And then I turned it into Dash. So I paid, the fee I paid at that time wasn't that bad, but I was about to move some Bitcoin in Jaxx to Litecoin for something, and I was like, screw that, man. One time I went to buy, I accidentally was on the wrong wallet in Jaxx, and I was going to buy something stupid so I buy Hollow Roast from me, even though I roast Hollow Roast. So because it's a business, we buy our household coffee from the business. And so I was paying myself Bitcoin, basically, for the coffee, but I was meaning to use Litecoin, and I was buying $28 worth of coffee. So I went in there to say, I'm going to do $28. And this was really cool. Jax was like, are you sure you want to do that? Because you're going to pay more fees than this amount is even worth.
That's why I like Jax.
Oh, crap. No, I don't want to do that, right?
So
okay.
Jax has a lot of little safeguards like that in it.
Yeah, I think that's all I have for questions. Messy James did mention you can use something called Wickr, W-I-C-K-R, as a safer texting app for two-factor authentication. I can tell you this, my phone bricked about a week and a half ago, and I had the Authenticator app on that for Coinbase, and then I couldn't access it because the phone bricked. And it
You
took
couldn't get it on your new phone and sync it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't do that because I tried. There were reasons that my super old iPhone was not. Yeah, so and the backup couldn't be restored. It was a whole thing, and it took me about a week. There's a process through Coinbase where you have to verify you're you with a government issued ID and a picture of your face. And it took a week, and they were then able to do one thing to my account, and that was turn off the Authenticator app, go back to two-factor authentication through text so that I could log in with my new phone and then set up a new Authenticator app to be safe again. But that still took, I think it took 7 days. It took a long time, and that's fine. Like, I'd rather have that than somebody got into an account and then some, like, because the other thing that's scary is they could feasibly pull money out of your checking account if your checking account's linked, right?
Yeah. If you could take control of somebody's Coinbase account, then yeah, you could theoretically do that. But you would still have that 5-7 day wait time. I've never heard of anybody doing that. That would be pretty easy to stop. You would have time there.
Yeah, you'd at least get the email that says you're about to be really sad.
Yeah.
And it does. It takes 5 to 7 days for it to go through for me every time. So Kurt, people want to see this recording again, show it to their friends, find out more about you. I understand you might start blogging on this. See some of the beautiful pictures your wife takes. She took the diamond ring photo of the eclipse at our eclipse party this year. How do they find you?
She's pretty good at that. Yeah. You can go to freedomandphotography.com. It's a new website. We just set it up in the last week or so, really, for this webinar and for some other stuff we're doing. So there's not a whole lot of content on there right now. She's got some of her awesome pictures. So there's going to be some writing from me every now and then. And yeah, as soon as we get this thing all sorted out, we'll have that on there too.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to edit the video as soon as the video crunches. If the video didn't crunch, we're both going to be sad and have to redo this webinar. But we wanted to have this as a resource for everybody. Thanks for watching. If you are setting up a new Coinbase account, we'll include a special link with the video we produce that gives you, if you use this link, it's an affiliate link. It's like an affiliate program at Amazon. If you use it and set up your Coinbase account and then add $100, you get 10 extra dollars. And then Kurt will also get $10. And that's if you're already going to do a Coinbase account with $100 anyway. That's just a way to say thanks to Kurt for giving us his time. So we'll make sure that's included. I'm going to write this up on a blog post on my website too, so everybody can have access and know where to go to get to your website. Okay?
And yeah, and if anybody's got any questions, you can find me on Facebook, Kurt Duggar, and if you will definitely know who it is if you find the picture. It's got a big Bitcoin coin.
Yeah.
Anybody that needs any help with this, I will do anything I can to help you out getting into this world.
Yeah, remember guys, don't transfer your savings into this. It's not time yet. Not time yet. Have a great evening. Thanks for coming.